Hello, welcome to Shooter Ready, the GBPRA podcast, brought to you by Boscabel Weapon Systems. I'm Christian, and with me tonight, as usual, is Simon.
Hello, Christian.
Hello, Simon. How are you doing?
Good, mate, you?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Have you had a good week?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good, thank you. Busy, lots to keep me entertained.
Yeah, of course. It's been a good one for me too. I've had a cracking one. What are we talking about tonight?
Well, but we'll start with a serious note. Moment to acknowledge the horrendous things that are happening across the world.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll get into it in more detail. We're fortunate we're able to do things like have this wonderful podcast, talk our minds and enjoy our sport and all that sort of stuff. But the absolute disgraceful atrocities occurring in Ukraine at the hands of the Russians. No place for that in anything in the world in sport. I mean, we'll talk about it. You know, there's an element that does impact upon us with the IPRF and Russia having a precision rifle federation. We'll talk about that. But yeah, sad times across the world at the moment. So
it's hard to stay positive, isn't it, when that's going on? But you've got to keep your chin up, and obviously we know people that have been affected by it personally as well. It's very sad business.
Yeah, very much so. So our hearts and thoughts go out to all those people that are suffering, either over there or in this country or anywhere across the world in relation to what's going on in Ukraine. And fingers crossed, it sort of has some form of positive resolution in the not too distant future. Right. What we're going to talk about, we can talk about Russia at some point. There's lots to talk about, and we've sat and gone through the list. We're not going to fit it into an hour. This is when I do my time check. 39 minutes past, say 38. That's the target. I don't think we'll make that. No way.
We never do.
Things we've just added to the list. We still need a voiceover guy. Any sort of voiceover. We'll do that for the start of the coming individual and teams series. We'll get a voiceover guy. So you can hire someone. You can get a video where you get like Vinnie Jones wishing you happy birthday for 20 quid. I'm pretty sure we can get some celebrity to do as a voiceover. Pseudo celebrity, any internet sensation, meme specialist, anyone. If you're out there and you're famous, could do a voiceover for us.
Yeah, give us a shout. Drop an email to info@gbpra.co.uk.
There you go, just like that, seamless. Because we do this on the back of a fag packet, so any help we get will be appreciated. We'll talk about transparency while we're at it. That was the first thing on our list, which is a big, bold word, but it's something we need to really sort of have a bit of a kick about at. Yeah. We're not going to get drawn into all the nonsense. We seem to have upset a few people, but such is life. I think some people sometimes just need to temper their expectations about who we are, what we are, and what our agenda is. We'll be honest with everyone with every question. The answer is we're like the most approachable people. We don't block anyone on social media. If you remember, you can come into you're in the members forum or you're on the members Facebook group. But if you're not a member and you ask us silly questions, we don't have to. Well, I don't understand. You know, we'll talk about Russia, but we've got like non-members saying, "What's your position on Russia?" As the GBPRA, and it's like, well, we haven't got one. You know, we've no power to do anything to Russia. Send them a shitty letter. I don't know. What could we do? Now, what the IPRF choose to do is a different ballgame. So, and the thing is, whilst we've had some fruity requests from fruity individuals on social media about what our stance is on Russia, I'm pretty sure in saying we're having a single member, bona fide paid member that comes to shoots and adds value to what we do who's asked us. Because the simple reality is anyone with a brain who isn't a troublemaker knows what every reasonable person's position is on Russia. It's an absolute disgrace, we said earlier. In relation to what any Russian shooters do, that's nothing to do with us, none of our business. Unfortunately, the IPRF have come out and in their statement, and I'm paraphrasing this, something along the lines of, as it stands, there'll be no participation by Russian or Belarusian athletes within the IPRF Worlds. And it's on their Facebook page. I'm not going to regurgitate it because someone will say I got some of it wrong, but they've taken a very positive, reasonable stance, and we as the GBPRA can only support that. Have we got an official position on it? No, we don't need one. We're going to go and take our team to France, and we're going to shoot against whoever's there, should I say. And that's it. Transparency-wise, we're not playing a game. We're not trying to hide things from people. We just don't have to have a position on everything. If someone says, "What's your position on having sugar in coffee?" What's your favourite type of ice cream? Stuff like that. We don't have to have a position on everything. So if you remember and you've got a genuine question, ask us. Tell you all about it. We're not hiding anything.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, but all that said, you know, we certainly want to send out our support to the Ukrainians. You know, terrible times over there for those guys. And I think we've been talking recently, haven't we, on our committee, just about, you know, what we can do to try and help and support. And we'll try and figure something out over the coming days.
I know from a couple of members who've asked about us doing some fundraising, which we're keen to do. It's got to be done in the right way. It's got to add some sort of so I know Joe, our treasurer, is having a look at that, and he's looking at some opportunities we might have to fundraise within the membership, outside the membership. Anything we can do. On a personal note, I've been sort of speaking to a lot of people recently. We've been sort of trying to get medical kit out there, and there's lots of effort going into trying solving what is a very difficult problem to solve.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll do something. And like anything, if you listen to one of our members, or not even one of our members, and you've got some ideas for fundraising or something we can do, then just let us know.
Yeah, anything positive is very appreciated.
That's Russia. It's transparency. We weren't going to bang on about it. We just needed to at least shine a light on some bits where people thought we were perhaps having hidden agendas, but we weren't.
Yeah, I think you know, as much as you can, you want to try and keep politics out of sport, don't you? You know, that's the typical mantra that you hear, and it's certainly one that I prescribe to. It's certainly getting more difficult though to do that where Russia's involved in the invasion of Ukraine. I don't know if you saw. I don't know if you saw just today in the news the Russian athlete up on the podium with his bronze medal, and there's a Ukrainian guy there who got gold medal, and the Russian guy decided to make a little bit of a statement about the war. And it's you know, it's people that bring politics into sport, unfortunately, and you know, that's the way of the world.
Yeah, people with agendas. We come across them all the time.
Yeah,
people with agendas and bullies. No space for either of them in sport. You heard it here first. Right, let's move on to more tangible matters. Let's talk about the March Invitational, as we're going to call it, because I know you want to take this opportunity to explain our logic. I mean, fortunately, everyone seems to have got it, but we didn't explain it in advance because we didn't want to get caught up in a sort of, we don't want to delay things, did we? But do you want to explain to people why we did what we did for the March shoot?
Yeah, so to be selected for the Great Britain team, you know, in whatever division, you have to have shot a minimum of 2 IPRF qualification matches, of which after the match on Sunday the 20th of March, there will have been 6. We have it's something like 30 odd shooters that have shot 2 matches.
I've got 37 in my head. I don't know why.
Yeah,
it's just a random number.
Definitely over 30. Shooters that have registered two matches, so they've got a score, and then you've got let's just call it 20 shooters that have shot 1 match, and if they can shoot 1 more match, they've got an opportunity to register a score as well. So what we wanted to do is to make sure that those shooters that can get some use out of the match on Sunday the 20th in terms of either enhancing the score that they've already registered as a qualification score, or shooting that crucial second match so that they can get a qualification score. Wanted to make sure that those guys got first refusal on a place at the match, because it just didn't feel right towards those guys if somebody who hasn't shot a qualification match before came in and shot a qualification match and took a place from them.
And the reality is, sorry, man, go on.
Yeah, and also we're going up against the world. What would have been about 25, 26 nations, but obviously no Russian team going to the Worlds now. But we're going up against the best precision rifle teams, or best precision rifle countries, you know, notably America, in August in France, and we want to make sure that the team that goes there and represents Great Britain and Northern Ireland is the best we can possibly put forward. So, we need to make sure that those top guys get that slot to show us what they can do.
And just for context, we get to capacity every event. What normally happens is, or happens on occasion, is that we lose a couple on the day, before the day.
Yeah.
Life gets in the way for some people, but typically we get to the point where we've got what we call a holding list. We also have people, those that have been to our shoots, see there's a new face there every time. Someone who comes along who's never shot before. So we've got lots of people saying, I want to come and shoot, I want to come and shoot. It's why we don't open up the booking so far in advance. We listen to members' feedback. Some people are able to book 4 or 5 £130 events in one go. Some people, financially, that's viable to them. For some people, it isn't. Some people have to wait to get paid and things like that. So if we opened up all these events now, people have booked the ones they want, and it would genuinely hinder those people who wanted to take part. So we've got to try and be fair. The danger is we open up the bookings in a conventional way. We get new shooters coming on, and we came close. We're not going to name him, but we got to the point where one of our contenders nearly missed out this time round.
Yeah.
Because they hadn't booked on, just because they've forgotten or they've not got around to it. They're booked on now, I think he is, isn't he? Yeah, he is.
He's booked on now, but he needed a prompt.
Absolutely. and it's just because life gets in the way. But the reality was, it's all right, someone says, you can just squeeze a couple more on. Well, no, we can't. Well, why not? Well, because we've had to say to people in the past, I'm sorry, we can't get you on. We've got an agreement with the venue. Don't get me wrong, we could, those remember the TIFF days, you'd have, PRL would have twice as many shooters as we've got there. But if we're trying to do it properly or trying to do it the way we want to do it, and against the backdrop that we're not a money making exercise, and we try and do it as cheaply and sort of easily as possible, we can't just make it open ended. So one rule for one and one rule for the other. If you're a contender and you missed out, there was a chance that you wouldn't get to shoot. And for some people, that could be the difference between whether they qualify or not. So fair play to Christian. I didn't think about it, I'm not going to lie to you. He sort of put the brakes on and said, before we do anything, we need to do this a little bit differently. And it's worked, I think. Yeah, we've got no one that's, I think, going to miss out. Work capacity, we always are. And we'll see what happens on the day. I mean, it's typical, like I say, it's typical for shooting events to lose the occasional 1 or 2 people a day or so beforehand. But having the decent numbers makes a fairer competition, and more people get a chance to, like you say, get them extra points that they might need to get them over the line.
Yeah, and I'd just like to send on my apologies to those new shooters that were hoping to go to the match. Excited to come along and shoot their first GBPRA competition. I'm sorry, guys, that we couldn't squeeze you in. I hope you understand. Those of you that I've spoken to so far have said that you do understand. So I'm confident about that. And, rest assured, there's plenty of matches this season. We've got 6 individual matches to come across the course of this year. 6
individual, 5 team.
Yeah, I think 5. Yeah,
not good like numbers.
That. Anyway, lots and lots of opportunities to shoot precision rifle competitions with the GBPRA this year, including every month a training day as well.
You just reminded me. Training days, PR1. Just jumping back to transparency. So, anyone that thinks that we've done this before and that we've inherited a business model that's proven, needs to get their head felt. We're feeling around the dark for a lot of this stuff. We moved heaven and earth to get access to Bisley. The NRA have been fantastic. Mentioned to Peter Cottrell, Andrew Mercer, who have been brilliant. Alice Bond, the AI. And again, I'm not pandering to the internet nonsense, but I've had people asking, well, why isn't PR1 happening this month? And the reality is, we just couldn't get it done in time. We've got people down at Bisley working all the time to get the things in place. For those that have shot precision rifle, they know nothing like that has ever been done at Bisley before. No, nothing. Those that have shot at Chobham or Siberia, they know that the conventional ROs, they were having heart attacks when we were telling them what we were going to do. So there's been lots of moving parts. We've moved heaven and earth. Alex White's been doing a load of work for us to get it, but it's just not happening in time. that's why we've not opened the bookings. If we'd have opened the bookings, taken loads of money, and then it'd have fallen down, I'd be the first one to apologise. But, you know, like I said before, we're not going to open bookings, take things on unless it's nailed down. So we tried our hardest. We tried to get you that event at Bisley for a date in March. It's not going to happen. We're optimistic, more than optimistic, the April one's going to happen. And that's as transparent as we can be. It wasn't a made-up thing that didn't exist. It genuinely exists. We booked the range. We had to cancel the range when we realised we weren't going to do it. And we're going to soldier on. We will be shooting at Bisley. It's just going to take a bit longer than we thought because there's more moving parts than we conceived, but it'll happen. Transparency. Carry on, buddy. Sorry.
Anybody who's been to Bisley knows it's, you know, it's a particular sort of range, and it's going to take some work to get it sorted out. But
I mean, even the course of fires I've done for the affiliates for PR22, and you know, these are clubs that have never had movement on an open bolt from barricade to barricade or wherever it might be. And we had to put a load of guidance in, sort of explaining, you know, how conventional ROing is one thing on a gallery range, and they need to sort of switch the mindsets, or if they want to change it. We're talking to someone recently about having to drop your magazine out before you can move. You know, open your bolt, drop your magazine, move to the barricade, second barricade, put another magazine in and go. All those things are the lengths that some venues have to go to make precision rifle shooting safe and consistent.
Yeah.
So, yeah, simple it ain't, but we'll get there. We'll get there. That's March. Well, let's talk about food at March. For food for the March event, let's talk about that.
Yeah. For anybody that keeps abreast of you know, Facebook, Instagram, our social media, GBPRA social media, we just let everybody know a unique collaboration with Precision Rifle Series UK. You know, big shout out to Andy, Trez, and James over at Precision Rifle Series UK, because very generously they got in touch with the GBPRA and said, look guys, it's not good this. You know, we're coming and shooting your matches and you're not feeding us. You're not feeding your people. What's going on? It's a poor show. We're putting burger vans on at our matches. You need to catch up. And I said to Andy, but we're trying to bring down the cost of matches and this, that, and the other, and you know, we run on members' fees. So you know, putting food on for people, it's just beyond our means. And very generously, Andy said, "Tell you what, for your final IPRF qualification match, PRS UK will feed everybody." So, you know, massive applause to Andy, Trez, and James, PRS UK, because those guys are putting a packed lunch together for everybody.
And let's not sort of make it sound like it's flashing in the pan. It isn't. You know, we've been speaking to Richard Trez recently about how we can work together going forwards. Before sandwiches, burger vans became discussion. Again, we want as many people shooting precision rifle as possible when we do our IPF qualifications. We want as many venues as possible. And we work with anyone within reason. And we've had some very positive discussions with PRS. And hopefully going forward, those discussions will become more positive. And this is just another example for me of how the community wants to be stronger, closer, more together, whatever the sort of holistic words are. And I think it's great news. So fair play to you fellas. Great news that. Make of it what you will. It's been the subject of nonsense online, but so is everything nowadays. You know,
you can't do right for doing wrong, can you?
No, although in fairness, I think someone from Bears is going to bring Kit Kats. From what I read on social media, if someone from Bears is ever brave enough to turn up and come and have lunch with me, I'll be buying.
Oh come on, we promised ourselves we wouldn't talk.
No, we're moving on.
We said we've had our say.
Let's move on. I only want to mention Kit Kats It's all I wanted to do. Mention Kit
Everybody
Kats.
loves a Kit Kat. I'm glad the Bears guys like a Kit Kat too.
Oh, they love it. They love it. They love listening to our podcast. They'll be listening in the mum's basement.
Yeah, no, seriously, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for keeping abreast of our social media, hanging on our every word. Hanging on our every word. It's really good to see that you're engaging in some way. Yeah,
you got a mention, didn't you? Let's just say that. I think you got a mention, didn't you? Someone said.
I think anyway, I did. Yeah.
Moving on. There's no space.
I'm famous, mate. I'm famous now.
Moving on. CIC. Let's talk about CIC. Let's talk about CIC.
No. Let's come to that in a minute. We haven't finished off about the free food.
Oh, sorry.
So on a serious note, I do want to say to Andy, mate, can we make this the last time? Because now I've got to get around 30 odd shooters and try and figure out what everybody wants in the pack lunch. And you do know I'm a volunteer and I've got a day job.
Is he not just doing ham for everyone?
No, it's like I've got to find out if people want a Mars bar or a Snickers, or if they want,
Kit Kat.
Kit Kat wasn't on the list. Sorry. But I'm joking. Thanks, guys. Massively appreciated.
Yeah, good work, fellas. Needless to say, if you want to go and shoot PRS, and go on on the forum, there's a link to all the PRS stuff on the forum for places to shoot precision rifle in the UK. Go on there and follow stuff, click on things, however it works. Christian does all.
Well, before we move on to the kit, can I just mention, was it last weekend, weekend before, I was up at Gardner's Guns?
Yeah, I've got that down for later on, but we'll move them around.
Yeah, let's get on with it now while we're spreading the love.
Yeah.
As you know, for the past year, I've been going up to Gardner's to shoot in their big Send It series, their little Send It series now. Been shooting their dynamic matches as well. I love going up there. Mark and Helen always give a fantastic welcome. And they've got a great staff up there and volunteers as well with their arrows and whatnot. Excellent facilities. So Gardner's Guns just based outside of Carlisle. Fair to say they've had a few challenges this past year. We've always wished them well at the GBPRA. Hope that they get that all sorted out. But it's been, I've been really encouraged going up there and talking to the guys and shooting their competitions, and hoping that when we do our Precision Rifle 2-2 PR22 grand finale, when's it going to be? September sometime. August, September time. We'll get a couple of guys, a couple of shooters from Gardner's Guns to come and shoot in the grand finale as well. I think it's going to be a good match.
Are we not giving them 2 shots for nothing?
Yeah, no, it'd be all free for the shooters.
Sharing the love.
Yeah. So again, it's great. It's great that we can go around the country and be welcomed with open arms. Really like
equally, those people that don't know what's going on up there, go on social media, have a look. There's all sorts of petitions and GoFundMes to support what's happening.
Yeah.
As someone who has shot at Mark's ranges for a long time, some of the best days I've ever had shooting, I'll say in this country, on this island. We're at the old 2 mile STL Muir range. I'm a member of the FCSA. They're having similar problems up at that same range. Get out there and support them, sign a petition, add to the GoFundMe, go and shoot a competition. That's the best way you can help them.
Yeah.
Because the last thing we want to do is start losing venues or access to venues or days at venues. And we need that's the exact opposite of what we're trying to achieve.
This is about, this is not just about the precision rifle community. This is about shooting sports in the UK. This is about, a challenge to firearm, just being able to enjoy the privilege of using a firearm. It's that fundamental. That's what's going on up there right now. And everybody who owns a firearm or wants to own a firearm needs to show their support to what's going on up there. Everybody needs to be involved in helping out. So Gardner's Guns. Check them out.
I'm going to segue and move the CIC thing, because I'm going to go on to protecting firearms owners' rights and the international landscape when it comes to firearms.
Yeah.
And the Second Amendment in America. For those that go on the forum and chat away about stuff, and people that are bored at training days and competitions and stuff. I hate social media, but I accept that it's a necessary evil if we're going to communicate with people. The shooting community is under attack internationally by elements of certain political loyalties. We won't pick sides. It's not necessarily a left-right thing or a fascist thing or whatever it might be, but there are certain companies that have strong views on firearms, Facebook being one of them, and a number of companies, American companies, have just been shut down, lost their Facebook, lost their Instagram. Not necessarily just firearms companies. I have a lot to do with a company in America called SE Knives. Good people. Woke up one morning last week to everything gone. Instagram, Facebook gone. 120,000 followers, I think they had on Instagram. Great content, no firearms, that's the irony. No firearms on it, just all working knives, hunting knives. And I think they're still trying to get an answer as to why it happened. We mentioned it when we spoke about the forum early doors and why we needed that security of having our own server web space where we can go if something goes wrong. And I say go wrong because that would, for me, be, it wouldn't be something we've done. It wouldn't be a direct reaction to something we've done provocatively or challenged something or posted something provocative. It'll just be the Facebook algorithm robots go, look at that, firearms, let's have a look at them. And, companies in America like Mike Glover, who runs Fieldcraft Survival, Mike's a genuine dude, ex-military, and his company's very much geared towards survival and as opposed to all firearms, and he's got shut down. So there's no rhyme or reason to it, and we've just got to be alive to it. It's sad times, and I think it's only going to get worse the way that America is going. I won't pretend to be a political expert when it comes to what's going on in America, but anyone that thinks that Joe Biden's a good thing for the shooting community clearly isn't keeping tabs with what's going on.
Interesting though how all the people that were against civilian gun ownership and now lauding the Ukrainians for handing out AKs to all their citizens to get stuck into the fight.
Yeah, I think, again, without making it political, because there's no place for politics in sport, but I think Joe Biden's looking to invest in the police now and stop immigration. He'll end up building a wall or something you watch. They're all the same. None of them are on our side. They're all just snakes with different coloured ties. But the Biden administration's got it in for firearms. And they're all in cahoots with the Facebooks, the Instagrams, the Amazons, whoever it is that's making money by being in America. So
no politics in sports, Simon, but certainly politics and firearms ownership. We do the both. We do the both.
And social media, So there's Donald Trump's just set his own. I don't know what it is because I've not seen it, but he's got his own social media thing set up now. I don't know what it's called, where he's trying to have a platform where you can hear from people that say they've been closed down on other platforms when they signed up to that one. And I've heard all sorts of scare stories. So unfortunately, this country doesn't affect us too much, but we're only one click away from being in America. All Facebook is American hosted. Most websites, in fairness, are American hosted. Most banks are American driven, certainly in relation to sort of Swift transaction system. So PayPal, as someone in the firearms industry, PayPal do not like firearms. I know people that have had their bank accounts shut down because they've made a firearms transaction using PayPal. So it's just a dip toe in the water. There's loads of. I always put links on the forum. Interesting things to read. Keep yourself aware of it. Hopefully, it doesn't get as bad over here as it is in America.
But like you say, we've got the forum there. We've got our own web space, and that should, especially for the members, that should keep the communication channels on a social media platform flowing for the members. If anything ever did happen to the Instagram and the Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. Right. CIC. What's I'm doing? A moment to acknowledge. Well, what is the CIC? Christian. What is the CIC? You ask.
Don't ask me, mate. I haven't got a clue.
So
it's
members. Go on, sorry.
I'll answer the question. It's a community interest company?
So for the members that keep track of what we're doing, we asked a question a while back. We're looking to formalise what the GBPRA is. We set up, an association was set up. Me and Muggins here found ourselves on it. I think if we knew what we were signing up for, we wouldn't have signed up. But we're on it. And there came a point when it became bigger than just a few people kicking around the idea of sending a dozen or so people to an international event. It became a group of people running events, taking money off members of the public, paying venues, buying kit, etc., etc. So we wanted into the territory, needed to be a limited company or whatever it might be, and we had some discussions with the members because only our members count. Don't get me wrong, I value the opinion of non-members, but we're an association. We're the AGM, and any voting will be undertaken by our members, so that's who we're beholden to. And there was a unanimous agreement that becoming a CIC was the way forward. Now, after some fantastic work from Adam Sinfield, who I doff my cap to for all of his hard work, another volunteer that works tirelessly for a number of associations and groups for free. We are now a CIC as of, was it yesterday? I've not been reading my emails this weekend, but
yeah, it's been a day, I think, just a day. Yeah, it's hot off the press, that one.
So yeah, what that means going forwards, there'll be some slight change in structure, but we'll you know, it's not difficult to type into Google what is a CIC. There's already some information on our forum and Facebook group for the members about what they are and examples and things to read. But we'll look to do something sort of to explain the ins and outs of it. It just gives us some protection going forwards in relation to the volunteers that make some big decisions and carry some responsibilities. You know, in the scenes or behind the scenes, we've been producing all sorts of safeguarding documents. They've been in place for a long time, but people don't see them. Equality policies, anti-doping policies, all those sorts of things. But we need
all the boring but important stuff.
The sort of stuff that Tim does. The sort of stuff that makes him the most valuable person on the committee, because
absolutely,
he works tirelessly to make sure those things are solid. But there's also been a lot of input from the people, Adam Sinfield, other people, you know, the Constitution, all those documents didn't write themselves, and lots of people contribute to it, committee members, former committee members, and just members in general. We have some non-members throwing some stuff in early doors. So yeah, that's I think the next evolution of the GBPRA. We are now on Companies House. You can look at us, because some people will love to do that. We're straight on there now, Googling it, trying to find out where they can send an envelope full of dog poo to and all that sort of stuff. One thing I can say, because we get asked it an awful lot, I'm one of the directors of the CIC. Again, not something I wanted to do or particularly expected to do when I joined the GBPRA. I am one of 3 people who will be carrying the can for anything the GBPRA achieves or fails to achieve. Going forwards, I can say categorically that no one who is not on our committee is on the CIC directorship. Our directors are all current serving committee members, as outlined previously on Facebook posts. There are no sleeper agents. There are no James Bond villains pulling strings. I am legally responsible for this association, and anyone that thinks I've got someone telling me what to do, they clearly have never met me. I'm fortunate that the other 2 people, I mean, you go on Companies House to see it. You know, Christian, you're one of the directors, as is Steve Short. Sorry to out you like this, but we need to have that transparency. We're the 3 directors as it stands. If in time we're replaced by the directors, then so be it. But for now, that's us, and that was a decision made by the committee based on other commitments that they've got. There is no one else. There is no one above us or sideways that's going to tell us what to do or steer the direction of the GBPRA. The people that steer the direction of the GBPRA are the members. They're the ones that I want to speak to. They're the ones I want to see shooting. They're the ones who I spend hours and hours. When I say hours and hours, times that by 10 for the amount of time Christian spent speaking to them all on emails and Messenger and Face Ache and all that sort of stuff. You know, that's who our time needs spending with, not some fictitious kingpin who's trying to direct us, because we're not. We're led by the members. I can't wait for the AGM. I can't wait for the elections. so people can start to then see that they've got genuine control of what's happening in front of them.
There's probably quite a lot of people out. Well, I say quite a lot. I don't know how many people watch this, but I think the last one got on YouTube alone about 187 views when I last looked. But you're talking about kingpins and all that sort of stuff. There's probably 99% of the people out there that haven't got a clue what we're on about, mate. But you know,
I know. We always end up catering to the lowest common denominator, don't we?
Yeah.
But
so I apologise.
What does it say though?
I apologise to the 99% of people who don't know what we're talking about. We shall try and dispense with the in-jokes.
Yeah. Vessels make the most noise though, mate. That's what they always say, don't they?
That's it, yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
No, but again, it's transparency. Go on Companies House, look at the Great Britain Precision Rifle Association, and you'll see a great day moving forward.
We're pretty invested in this gig, aren't we? We're pretty committed to it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't come to this expecting to have to do as much work as I've done. There's been people working tirelessly. It's been very rewarding.
Yeah, agreed.
Every time we get a new shooter who comes through and takes part in something, or we speak to someone new, or someone new signs up, every member that signs up, every junior member. Yeah, it's been great. Would I do it all again if I had the choice and I knew what I was getting into? Absolutely not. It's like having kids, isn't it? Someone says, have kids, it'd be great. And you don't really know what you're signing up for, but you say, go on, I'll have a crack at that. And then you have kids and you're like, wow, don't get me wrong, there's some fantastic bits, but if you could just remain a bachelor in your underpants, drinking beer and watching Match of the Day without caring in the world, if you got that chance to go back, you probably would. Most people would. I love my kids to bits, but I enjoy weekends away shooting more. But
when you say, Simon, when you say what I'm interested in is what our members have to say, when you're saying that, what you're actually saying is, and sorry if I'm putting words in your mouth now, but what you're actually saying is, we've got a membership, and as an association, we're accountable to them. So we've got to be doing right by them. We've got to be doing the best by them and making sure that their needs are met. But we absolutely are committed to non-members.
Oh, you always just do like he's right. He's right what he says. He thinks more lateral than I do. We every member that's come to us was a non-member once who saw what we were doing, liked it, and joined up. But I'm the guy. Christian was described. Who described you as the nice smiling face of the GBPRA? Whoever it was a great compliment.
Oh,
I'm the one that ends up when we start having a meeting or something and we're looking around for who's going to speak to the guy that's being mean or being rude or who's going to challenge that guy. And it's always me. I'm the one that ends up taking these people on. So I do feel a great loyalty to our members. I don't mind going and engaging with non-members, but what I find is typically if people want to support what we do, they very quickly become members or they come to events. We've got some great non-members who come to our events and shoot. Fantastic.
Yeah.
I just will always say, whilst I'll entertain the views, the questions and opinions of non-members, my focus will always be on the people that have, signed up, joined up, put the money where the mouth is, come to events, driven what's going forwards, that are going to vote at the AGM, that are going to vote for elections and all that sort of stuff. But you're absolutely right, Christian. We're open to the opinions of people out. I think I've said that anyway tonight.
You have. The truth of the matter is, we love non-members, and all we're looking at is you as a future member. So all you non-members, join the GBPRA because it's a very nice place to be.
Yeah, what he said. That's why he's the media guy and I'm not. What he said, I can't argue that.
Where are we up to now? We've done kick. Do we need to say anything more about kick? I think we've done that.
Just again, for those that want to know what it is, what it's about, go on the forum, go on the website, on the Facebook page. We'll put something on the website about it. In fairness, we'll put the registered number at the bottom of the website and a link to something and a bit of what is this. Put it in FAQs. We've got an FAQ section, haven't we? So we'll do that. So again, if you're a non-member and you're wondering how we are structured and how we're accountable, then you can go onto the website and find that. Extra word for you, Christian. I love it when I say let's put something on the website because I make it sound like it takes 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's
Change all the logos.
That's just reminding me. That
was like a quick thing. That was a 30-second job, wasn't it? Just change all the logos on the website.
I was doing that this morning actually over my morning Sunday coffee. that reminded me, actually. Another thing, I'm going to say thank you again to Andy Simpson of Precision Rifle Series UK, because 9 months ago now, when I was trying to set up a website for the GBPRA, he reached out and gave me a little bit of advice. He knows how to design websites, does our Andy. He gave me a little bit of advice, and I used that for our website, and it's been great going forward. So again, thanks, Andy.
There you go. We're just probably sharing the love. We've got the Loving Edition. Loving Edition, write that one down. Make sure you put that on the description thing that says what this one's about.
I'll make a note of that.
Simon and Christian talk about sharing the love.
Episode 6, Spreading the Love.
There you go. If that's not worthy of a meme in its own right, I don't know what is. That's all I've got on my list. What have you got on your list? There's no reason it has to be an hour. We've always overrun these things. I've nothing else.
I'm just writing down Spreading the Love. Hang on. Done.
There's other things we could talk about, but we need to save some stuff. Well, we need to save some stuff for future podcasts, because otherwise we'll end up doing a 6-hour podcast and talking about everything for the whole year, and then we're in out stuff. We don't want to overlap with things we've got planned for future, because we've got a few bits that we need to. It's all about timing with these things, isn't it? There's things we don't want to talk about yet. We've not finished qualification. We've not announced the venue in France yet, unless I've missed that. I don't think they have.
No, that's not been announced yet. We said that would take a little while to announce.
We've got people stacked up that want to come and be on these podcasts, but we're waiting to see how a few things pan out first. Yeah. So we don't want to carry ourselves. But no, I think it's been good. Anything else you want to throw in?
Yeah, just a little bit of admin stuff. If people go on the website and look at the event page, you'll notice that there's dates in there for all of our matches, training days, and so forth for this year. We've had a few changes to some of the dates. Nothing that's changed for March and April. I think May might also be good, but later on in the year, there's a few dates that have had to change just because the range have had some stuff that they've had to jiggle around a little bit, and we've
it's like said we'd have a look at Flying Vermin, isn't it? They've had Flying Vermin because they have Flying Vermin shoots on there or something.
Something so like that.
The landowner likes shooting little feathered things, so we are at the behest of the venue owners and managers. Yeah. So yeah, good shout. Check those dates, but again, we don't open them all up in advance for a reason. Things can change. We've had it before where we've been told the day before a shoot, oh, you've lost this bit of the venue. We've never so
lost the dates that are on there at the moment, they're about to be updated, but everything for March and April is nailed on for now. So that's all good. Yeah, I think that was everything that I had on my list.
Cool. Yeah, works for me. By the time we come back to you with another podcast, we'll be talking about individual and teams events. Hopefully, we're talking about a venue in France, exactly where we'll be going. And yeah, we've got some exciting stuff about. No, I'm not going to say it. We're going to leave it till next time. Otherwise, I'd let the cat out of the bag.
No, you've intrigued me now because I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, the thing is, it's about teams individual events, and we've got some great support
for
the coming year and the coming year's events. Yeah. We'll make it very exciting. We'll bring it in line with some of the requests that we've had from members and shooters in relation to how they'd like these competitions to look. And we'll make it, I think, a more worthwhile exercise for some people that are coming. That's the best I can do. All become clear next time in episode 7, which will be voiced over by David Hasselhoff or someone like that. It'd be 40 quid well spent, wouldn't it? We can get like a intro done by the Hoff.
Is he still alive?
I think so, yeah. I think he'll live forever, wouldn't he? I think. When people have just not changed in the last 30 years.
Okay. All right. He'll do. I'd rather have kids.
Yeah, the GBPRA podcast brought to you by the Hoff. You heard it here first. Right. I've had a great time, as always. And I've learned loads. I've learned more about myself and reflected inwards, not bearing grudges, being open and transparent, and not getting drawn into politics. So I'm a wiser person for it.
Well done, sir.
Thanks, mate. So yeah, it's been great. Thank you for everyone for listening, watching. Stay tuned. I think our numbers are going up every time we do one of these. We get more people watching and listening, so we're clearly doing something right. Either that or just going to laugh at us. But there's only one guy making memes in his basement. So when a few more meme pages pop up and we're getting a bit more negative press, we might stop doing them. But until then, we'll keep churning these things out, because I think more people want to hear them than don't, if that makes sense.
As soon as behind the H59 shows an interest in us, I think we know we've made it then.
There you go. Love it. Right. Well, thanks, buddy. It's been good. And do you have some you always have a parting words of wisdom. What have you got this time?
No, just be good to one another and do your best.
Don't be wrong. You just wrote yourself. I didn't. It just happened spontaneously, organic last time. So some people want it on a t-shirt. I'm not going to do that because it's childish. Right. Thanks a lot. Thanks for listening, Christian. Thanks for taking time out, and we'll see you all soon.
Cheers, Sam. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.